You're praying about your finances, but you see nothing. You're praying for your marriage, your family members, but you see nothing. You got a report from the doctor, but you are praying for healing, but you see nothing. At work, in your company, you're seeing nothing. You got a dream, but nothing. Friends, you may see nothing, but you can bank on the fact and the promise of the resurrection that because Jesus is alive, when you see nothing, it means that Jesus is up to something. He's at work. He's not constrained to time and space. He has no limitations. Right now, he is sorting your life. He's figuring things out. He is always at work. When you don't see, he's moving. When you don't feel, he's fighting. When there is silence, it doesn't mean he's still. You may be down to nothing, and that just means God's up to something.
Over and over again in the Bible, we're told to wait upon the Lord. When you don't understand, don't be unwilling to wait. I was speaking about preachers. Another preacher said to me, who was in a hard spot, he said, I know that God put me here. I just wonder if he remembers where he put me. Don't demand to understand. Don't fail to be faithful. Don't bow to bitterness. Friend, don't be unwilling to wait. God is never late, but he's never ahead of time. It's like the sun coming up. One thing about the sun coming up is you can't hurry it and you can't stop it. And that's the way God is. God is always on time.
You got to understand, God wastes nothing. Be careful, because the enemy loves to tempt us, loves to make us think that we have wasted seasons of our lives. But because of God's sovereignty and because of God's providence and because God knows both beginning and God knows end, we can trust that God wastes nothing, because you never know where God wants to take you, because God is using it all. It's by the very nature. That's why you find it so consistently throughout the scriptures that God often allows his servants to navigate through waiting seasons, because waiting often reveals character. Friends, it is this ideal of waiting and this willingness to wait that is an essential skill of the Christian life. That no matter where we are in our juncture, in our journey of following Christ, waiting is a prerequisite for how we will grow into maturity. And you will find yourself in those very moments where you're going to have to ask yourself the question, are you going to be petty or are you going to be purposeful? Are you going to be jealous or are you going to be joyful? Are you going to be grateful or are you going to begin to grumble? Are you going to be impatient or are you going to be intentional? Waiting will test your integrity. That's what waiting does. Waiting always reveals your character. And in that worship, you can bring wherever you may be in your waiting season. That perhaps you're waiting on the doctors to tell your loved one they are cancer-free. Or perhaps you're waiting on a relationship to get better. Or perhaps you're waiting on the Lord to send a relationship that you long for. That in our waiting, we must worship. That God, it has not been easy. God, it has been challenging. God, the uncertainty has been incredibly difficult. But God, I am trusting you for what you're going to do, and I am trusting you for how you are going to work in my life and through my life. That he is a God that's always worth waiting for. That he is a God that has not forgotten about us. That he is a God that has a sovereign plan that he is working. That he is the same God that called you from the very inception. He is worth waiting for.